Hey guys, Pistol here. Today we are playing Crusader Kings 3, and I'm going to go over how to raid and raiding basics. Now, the first thing you need to know about raiding is that not all rulers are able to raid. There are two main components to allowing you to raise your army as raiders and raid nearby towns, temples, and baronies. So the first thing that you need to know is that all tribal characters are allowed to raid. So you can find out if your character is either feudal or in the tribal stage by going to your realm tab in the upper right, and you can see if they are feudal or if they are a tribal civilization. Now, if you're tribal, you automatically are allowed to raid. Now, if you're feudal, you can, with the exception. It's all based on religion at that point. So that is where you need to then go to your tab for religion to understand, what are you worshiping, what are their virtues, what are they allowed to do. Now, in this example video, we chose Count Haston of Montague in 867. He is a feudal civilization, but he is of the Astru. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but that pagan religion allows raiding and the sacrifice of captives. So that warmongering pagan religion allows him to raid. So now that we know if you can or you can't, the best way to find out if you can is also just go to your military tab on the right. You're going to have three options if you are able to raise raiders: is raise all armies, raise all as raiders, or disband all. Now, if you are a feudal civilization that does not have the ability to raise raiders and raid, you're only going to be shown two options right at the top. That's raise all armies and disband all. So now that you know if you can or you can't, let's go ahead and show you how to raise. Raise your raiders. We'll talk about a few of the basics as we go through it, and away we go. So I've just went to raise all raiders, and now let's unpause. As you can see, it looks like any other army that's risen. But you can see if they are raiders by above that red flag showing that it is your army. There'll be three torches. They act very similar, almost the exact same as regular armies, except for when you move them over, even a neutral, whether that's an ally, a neutral kingdom, county, barony, you can now raid those. Whereas if you move an army into a nearby city that you're not in war with, nothing will happen. So we'll go ahead and move this over to the barony of Thors. Let's fast forward here. All right, so once we get going and are on the actual location and begin raiding, you'll see that there is a raid progress timer. Now, raids don't happen as quick as they did in CK2. You will have to keep in mind that it does take time, usually about 30 to 35 days. Also depends on the perks that you have. But it'll show you below, what you're going to be able to get, what the garrison is of that location, and then the level. Now, oftentimes when you're raiding, you'll get a pop-up like such. This is often where you then get to make a decision whether you want to take slaves that'll help increase your development of your capital, or the other options are you just basically sack the city or the barony, and what that does is it'll get you some gold and some prestige. And then the last option is that you basically say you've taken enough. That'll spend piety, and depending on your character, it'll either give you stress or nothing will happen there. That option is only I wouldn't use that option unless you're planning on trying to earn that title in a war shortly thereafter, because the other two options do result in that location gaining the recently sacked trait for 20 years. So here we'll go ahead and just take the gold. So now if we look after we've completed it, the basics here, just looking over to the left tab that pops up when you select your rating group, you'll see whoever the commander is. You can of course change that if you want. They'll show the main traits, the prowess, and giving certain advantages. If we move over to the right, you're going to see how much gold they can carry. Each location has a certain amount of gold that you will be able to earn if you raid, and only so much you can carry. So basically try to plan accordingly where you're not going to be raiding more than you can carry. It's just not efficient that way. The next, the red skull is your monthly attrition. That's going to be how many armies are you basically or raiders in this instance are you going to be losing per month while you're out there. Now, oftentimes after you get your armies and levies a little bit higher, your raiders when they're raised will be a higher number. That higher number, of course, will allow you to, one, carry more gold, and two, basically be able to raid longer or raid more locations before having to return. And then the last section works the same as armies, but that's your supplies. The attrition rate will go up drastically as those supplies go down. And then the other sections, work the same way as, your armies. You can break them off, you can split them in half, you can separate the special armies among them, and so forth. So now that we actually do have some gold, the main thing to keep in mind is that you do need to bring back that raider group into a territory you control. If you don't do that, the gold means nothing, and it won't go into your coffers. So once you actually arrive back inside of your area, you're going to get a pop-up that shows you, what you've earned. Now, you're going to earn prestige equal to the gold as well. So if you earn 17 gold, you're going to earn 17 prestige. So it is beneficial both ways, not only from a gold earning perspective, but also from a prestige earning perspective to raid and raid quite frequently. As most tribal or pagan rulers, you're going to be more geared towards war. So having more gold will help just improve your chances at conquering more titles and expanding your realm. All right, guys. Well, that was the basics for raiding. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, questions, please leave us a comment in the section below. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content.